Hello everyone. We are three fine and dandy clinicians at Physical Therapy San Pedro, and we're here to talk to you about the small stuff. Everybody wants the big stuff. Everybody wants to get that squat personal record. Everybody wants to hit that quadruple pirouette. That's from her. We all want to make multiple three-point shots if you're a basketball player. You always want to strike out the batter. There's so many ways where we're trying to get the big wins, the TKO, winning the match, winning the competition. But really the small things matter. And if we don't do the small things, then we won't feel good with the big stuff. So, the small stuff. What are you doing on your own to take care of the small things to make your body feel good? What are you doing to make sure that 100-meter backstroke feels amazing? Are you doing the small stuff? Dr. Bay, talk to us about why these things are important.
Well, when we train or compete, we're asking a lot from our bodies, right? So think about it. If you're trying to acquire your new acro trick or you're trying to set a new PR, what are you doing? You're putting in a lot of reps, right? Practice makes perfect. So without balance in our body, what's going to happen? Overuse, right?
Yeah.
So check in with your body. Do you feel good when you're at practice? Do you feel good during games? When you're competing, even at rest, do you feel good? We can all make big stuff happen. This is my specialty, always making it happen. But how are you making it happen?
You can make it happen.
Let's be serious. What's the fun in it if you're making it happen, but you're not enjoying it and you're not feeling good? Mm-hmm. That's not what we love to do anymore, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not feeling good in your sport, there's a good chance you are neglecting the small stuff.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Especially those that are overtraining, right? Mm-hmm. So the multiple practice people a week, playing water polo and swim at the same time, and when people train heavily and train a lot, they put more attention into making sure they're better at their skill, which is like their big stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Trying to make sure they're better, and they feel like that's going to get them, I guess, improve their sports performance. At the end of the day, they think they're going to win, but some of the small stuff really can impact their ability to be a better athlete overall.
Definitely,
right?
Definitely.
Totally. What is the small stuff, Kristen? Like, what does that mean to everybody, anybody who's listening or following or watching this video right now? What does that mean to them? Give us some examples.
Some examples of the small things that maybe you're not doing at all, but maybe you're not also doing enough of, will be like stability. So for example, just the smaller muscles that you need in order to do the bigger movements. So you want those stabilizers to be there and ready for you, and they won't be if you aren't practicing them.
So what would be, give us an example of like a stabilizer, like give us one example in our body where we would need stability for a movement.
Like overhead work is primarily going to be your deltoid, but you need your rotator cuff stabilizers to keep you safe up there. Mm-hmm. So they have to work together, and if you're only working one without the other, bad things will happen.
For sure. 100%.
And mobility is another one.
Yep.
Just making sure that, the joints involved in your sport, but also just in your body, are always easily accessible without any restrictions for your games and competitions. Checking in with that between. And then flexibility, same but different, is the muscle length. So that's just going to be, making sure that your muscles aren't restricted. You don't feel super tight when you are say soccer, for example, when you're running, kicking, you want to make sure that you have that length so it doesn't surprise you in like a hammy tear or something.
Yep.
So unilateral training, big one, always with the compound movements and the double leg things, but forgetting to check in, right versus left, to make sure that they're both playing equally for you, for your sport and just for life. Open chain exercises, kind of following the same thing, more for isolation of whatever muscle you're trying to target. So that would be, something where your limb is in the air and you can really focus on contracting that muscle and that joint health versus standing on the ground and doing a squat. So it's just a different variation of training to check in with.
Your bicep curls, your ham
Bicep curls,
your
yeah.
longer quads, your like lateral raises.
Yeah,
stuff like
so you
that.
can really focus on the muscle and isolate the muscle when you do open chain stuff. And jump training or power, just always good to check in with your force production, making sure that it's there for you so you don't have to bust it out for the first time in a long time when you do your games and competitions or practices.
And for jump training in particular, right? Like jump training is one of those things where we figure out and find movement deficiencies. Like when you're jumping, are you jumping with your knees in? Are you landing low? Are you stable? Are you jumping and landing on your toes? Like
lots of things are unveiled.
yeah, exactly. So practicing, jumps teaches you what you're maybe missing that is important for some of that stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also agility, speed. I mean, you would think that with certain sports, like, strongman, for example, you wouldn't need agility or speed, but you do need a little bit of everything in harmony to make things happen. So always checking in with agility, also for neuro, for your brain. So just making sure that you have that connection. And agility with quick movements is just a way to do that.
Yep. A strongman has to quickly carry, has to use power to overhead press. There's a lot of power involved, and you take your ankles through those ranges in speed, take your knees through it, your hips through it. So if you're not preparing, and prepping that stuff, you might not feel good. Yeah. Yeah. Good example.
And strength training. This one kind of seems like obvious, like we should be keeping up with our strength, but a lot of sports that are cardio dominant, you're not doing strength training for the muscles that you need with all of the running in soccer, for example. So, correct and proper strength training so you can perform better and keep strong for the demand of your sport.
Awesome.
So recovery, this is a big one. Always just checking in with your foundations, right? Your basics, making sure that you have the sleep and nutrition and your mental health is, good and everything's ready to play for you, just with your foundations. So I feel like that's top because without that you can't really practice the other things. But all of these things together can help you with optimizing your chance of staying out of injury.
And these are your small things, right? So your big stuff is your sport, right? What you're actually working towards. So if you're a strongman, your big stuff is all your big lifts, right? If you're a soccer player, it's soccer. That's your sport, right? If you're a ballerina, it's all the things you're doing in ballet. Yeah, that was gonna not go well.
Your grand allegro.
Okay, thank you. Yes, she was gonna make fun of me, but we're gonna just let that one go. Okay, so
Do tell me, Dr.
but your sport, right? These are your big things, right? Your 100-meter freestyle. That's your event. You're practicing. You're preparing. That's what you do every single day. But your small stuff is all the things that you don't do daily. It's not the thing that you're really moving towards. And these are those things. So for everybody, it could look different. This list could look really different. And what we want you guys to do is really take a look at this list that we've given you. And even if you pick one thing off of it, pick something. Am I staying stable? Am I working on stability? Am I working on mobility? How is my flexibility? What does my movement mechanics look like? Am I getting enough rest, recovery, sleep? Am I fatigued all the time? Am I nutrition? Am I eating the right things? There's so many things that you could be not doing well, all the small things that could really help you be a better athlete. It could really improve your sports performance, okay? Like Dr. Bay, like the best athletes, they do these things, right?
Yes, 100%
Yes.
they do.
Right.
All of the GOATs. LeBron James does this. Misty Copeland does this. Tom Brady does this. That's why he's still in the game. And Martins Lisis.
Yeah.
Literally, Martins is here at PTSP, and he is doing all the small stuff. This is why at his strongman competitions, he's been able to win the last two and be in the least pain he's been in a long time.
Yeah. For sure, 100%.
So this doesn't mean injury never happens when we do
Right.
the small stuff, but these small things we also use in recovery, and it also leads to a quicker bounce back from injury. So don't skip it.
Yeah, don't skip the small stuff. If you want longevity in your sport, like these amazing athletes that Dr. Bay mentioned, you need to do the small stuff. So, do you guys have anything else to add to this that we haven't discussed? Any personal experiences or stories?
Well, I looked at our list and I was like, oh, yes, I need to focus more on my jump training and agility training. But I was happy that I did do a lot of the things on the list more lately in the last few years.
Yeah, and she's pregnant, so jump training isn't like number one on the list when you're pregnant. Although the baby gets some good like movement in there,
Thank
and
you.
roller coaster ride
Yeah.
and fun stuff. But you would know what the thing is, she's pregnant and she's doing most of these things very well, and that's what's important. And I think that's the difference between being pregnant right now and being pregnant, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, even 5. Like, where these things are important no matter if you're pregnant or not. Being an athlete, taking care of yourself is important. Yeah, Kristen, anything to add?
No, I think that if you do these things, it also makes you that 1% better. So if you're trying to be the best at your sport, do all the small stuff.
Yep, 100%. Awesome. Okay, well, Dr. Bay, myself, and Kristen, we want to thank you guys for following our blog, tuning in, watching our discussions. If you have any questions, comments, throw them down. We have a new doctor, and he will be in the house soon, and you'll get to see him on one of these videos and discussions. So that's something new for us. Dr. D is our new PT. He is a male, and we're excited to have him here. So you'll be seeing him in the future. Anything else cool going on? We are going to be flagshipping we're going to continue our strength and conditioning for our athletes, but we're kind of pushing our summer strength and conditioning. So if you're interested in staying strong between your sport off season, you can send us a message on that. We have lots of cool stuff going up on our website, so stay tuned for blogs. We have some monthly promotions going on right now. Our current May promotion is going on right now, and we just did a Mother's Day promotion, so stay tuned for those things. And I think that's it. Anything else to add, ladies?
That's perfect.
All right, you guys have a great day. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.